you plan on resigning, First Minister?
No, I fully intend to not just win that vote, but I intend to fight to make sure that the government stays, not just the government continues to deliver on the priorities of the people, like, for example, investing in affordable housing. So there's all that political game playing happening from the opposition. It will not be taking part in it. We'll be getting, of course, on with the job, and when the vote comes, I fully intend to win.
Are you confident of winning? Because what gives you that confidence?
Well, look, I've been part of a minority government 2016 to 2021. I completely understand that minority government relies on compromise, relies on working on an issue to issue basis in order to try to get support for your priorities. So what I'll be doing is writing to every single political party leader, asking them to meet in the coming days to say, how do we actually make minority government work? That's incumbent, of course, on the government, but also on the opposition to act in good faith.
And at those meetings, you're going to have to give some concessions. What are you willing to give away in order to sustain your job?
Look, you are actually right. Of course, in minority government, you have to compromise. There's a bit of give and take. There's often some trade-offs. That is the nature of minority government. So I'll be meeting and hope to meet with the party leaders if they respond to the letter, and of course see what their priorities are and where our priorities are and where do they align.
And if you lose next week's vote, will you resign?
I don't hypothecate on loss. I intend on not just
hypothetical,
fighting.
First Minister. This is going to be a very, very close run thing, and there's a really, really good chance that you lose.
There's a hypothetical. I just told you I don't hypothecate on loss. I hypothecate on winning, and that's what I intend to do in the vote.
But I think the people of Scotland deserve to know whether their First Minister will respect the will of Parliament.
The people of Scotland can be very assured that I'm confident of winning that vote and getting on with the job of delivering.
The will of their Parliament?
Look, again, I understand the headline that you're very desperate
it's
to
get.
It's
not a headline, First Minister.
I'm pretty clear here that when it comes to that vote, I fully intend on not just fighting the vote, but winning that vote too.
And as I say, it's a fairly close run thing. Even a close win, surely that's the beginning of the end.
No, that's quite an incredible statement. If you win a vote, then somehow that is the end. I don't agree with that statement at all.
Have you spoken to Ash Regan yet? She's laid out her demands, albeit fairly vague demands, but she's laid them out. Would you be willing to speak to her on this?
Well, I think I've already said I'll be writing to each of the party leaders and the leaders of the party groups represented in the Scottish Parliament. So that includes Ash Regan. So of course I'll be looking to meet with her, as well as Patrick Harvie, Lorna, Anna Sarwar, Douglas Ross, Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Are you going to apologise to her for the things you said when she left the SNP?
Look, when it comes to Ash Regan, I had said that Ash and I have similar priorities, such as, for example, advancing independence. That, for me, is what undoubtedly unites Ash. It's why she joined. That's what we have in common with Ash Regan. That's why, of course, Ash Regan joined the SNP. And look, there are common priorities there, such as, for example, independence.
We spoke to Patrick Harvie in the last hour, and he's made it pretty clear it's going to be very, very difficult for you to make your way back into the Greens' good books. And he said that he doesn't think that you can command a majority in Parliament anymore. Surely it's over now, First Minister.
But we're a minority government. That's the entire point. So you've got to work issue by issue, case by case, priority by priority, negotiating. And actually we've done that for most of the 17 years that we've been in government in the SNP. So we'll have to do that again with this vote of no confidence, which I think is actually really political game playing. And most people will see it for that. And while that game playing is going on, I'm making sure I'm getting on with the job, such as announcing £80 million for affordable housing.
Just on that, do you regret the way that you treated the Greens yesterday?
Look, I think it's a fair question. I don't regret the ending of the Bute House Agreement. I think it was the right thing to do, but I've heard the Greens upset, I've heard their anger, and I can honestly say that was not the intention. There are people, Patrick and Lorna, that I've worked with for a number of years, who I said, even yesterday, of course, I really valued the contribution they've made, not just to the country, but to the government. And of course, that upset and anger wasn't meant wasn't meant from me. And so I look forward, hopefully, a response from Patrick and Lorna to the letter I intend to write them to meet in the coming days.
Before that decision, did you wargame this? Did you foresee this as a potential outcome?
Look, we always knew that if we're going into minority government, it would be very possible that the opposition would bring forward a vote of no confidence. That's why I tell you that we, of course, will continue to speak to the party leaders, get into a position where we can continue to deliver on the priorities of the people, such as affordable housing, where I'm delighted to announce £80 million.